In the headlines, residents of Jabi Masallachi lament demolition of palace. Police Council confirms Egbetokun as substantive Inspector General of Police. House of Representatives summons Humanitarian Affairs Minister for details of 1.1 trillion naira conditional cash transfer scheme. And on the foreign scene, Gaza officials say Israeli airstrikes killed dozens in Jabalia camp. Hello there, good evening and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We start in Abuja as the ongoing FCT master plan restoration work under FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has hit Jabi district with the demolition of a traditional palace. The demolition team began work on Tuesday morning as residents watch in dismay, registering their disapproval of the demolition exercise. Trust TV's Kabir Lawal witnessed the demolition and sent in this report.
What goes around comes around. That is the feeling in Jabi area as the Federal Capital Territory Administration takes its bulldozers to the palace of 97-years-old Dekachi Yakubu Auta. What was once a structure representing traditional authority has been turned into rubbles. Dekachi Yakubu expressed his dissatisfaction with the development while emphasizing his contribution as community leader to the development of the Federal Capital Territory over the years.
I was in
the inner room and heard a sound, and also people shouting. Before I knew anything, I saw bulldozers and fully armed men. We are not at loggerhead with the government, but we are appealing to the government to come to our rescue. Also speaking, the son of the chief, Yakubu Abubakar, lamented the neglect of traditional history by the government, noting that the palace existed long before Abuja became the Federal Capital Territory.
They started by demolishing our palace without speaking anything. The palace chairs, files, in the community, normally we have files where we treat cases of conflict and also some people's agreement just normal way of life. We have files where we keep record.
Residents also expressed dismay at the presence of heavily armed security personnel in the area ahead of the demolition exercise. We are peace-loving people who have been living in peace with one another, irrespective of religion or tribe. We are calling on the government to do the needful, adding that before now, the palace has been used to resolve different cases, which has gone a long way to make the community a better place. The importance of palace cannot be overemphasized. If the palace is being demolished, it will be as if we are not existing. The government should do the needful to make Jabi a better place. Some shops in the area earmarked for demolition were also taken down as business owners count their losses.
I'm managing my life with a shop and they came without notice to demolish us. My freezers, everything was gone. It is done. It's never done in that way.
The demolition of the palace really pains us a lot because we are no notice. They didn't give us any notice the day they are coming.
The Nyesom Wike-led FCT is doubling down on its promise to restore the Abuja master plan at all costs, with more demolitions expected in few days. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the National Emergency Management Agency has confirmed the rescue of 12 persons and the recovery of 17 bodies in Taraba after a boat capsized carrying 104 passengers. The boat capsized on Saturday, carrying mostly local traders, including women and children, returning from a local fish market in Arokola local government area. The Director of Emergency Services at NEMA, Bashir Garga, says rescue operations are still underway. The acting chairman of the Inland Water Transporters in Taraba, Jidda Mayo, says 6 victims have been buried on Monday in Mayo after the families granted the agency permission to do so. Elsewhere, Governor Simi Fubara of Rivers State and Nyesom Wike, his predecessor, are in a meeting at the presidential villa in Abuja after days of political unrest in Rivers State over plans to impeach the governor. The duo, who reportedly fell out less than 6 months after succession, have been in the news since the reported move by the Rivers State House of Assembly to impeach Governor Fubara. The governor had stormed the State Assembly while some lawmakers loyal to the minister of the FCT were said to be planning his removal. Addressing youths who trooped to the government house in Port Harcourt over the development, Governor Fubara vowed to resist any impeachment attempt against him that is not justified. Now, grain marketers in Bauchi State have denied claims that links them to the soaring prices of food commodities across the state. The marketers say the federal government needs to improve the collaboration with local stakeholders to ensure food security in Nigeria. Trust TV's Adamu Imam visits the market in Bauchi and filed in this report.
The Durum Market is located at Ganjua local government area. The popular grain market serves different communities as well as visitors on weekly basis. With emphasis on food crisis, especially assorted grains, traders have expressed concern over instability in grain prices. Honestly, the price is higher. The situation in the market is not encouraging. We sold sack of millet for 40,000 naira. Beans per measure is 800 naira and above, or we reduce 20 naira for customers only. Before, maize is 500 naira, now is 450. So the prices are coming down, and we are hoping if sorghum start coming to the market, other grains price will fall too. We don't increase price overnight. It's the situation of the market. If we get them higher, we sell higher. Less, we sell less to customers. But we hope this difficulty will soon be over. Farmers, on the other hand, explain why they usually rush to sell their grains after harvest. We have our demands. That is why we cannot eat all the grains we cultivated. So that is why I brought my sorghum now and sold at 57,000 naira per sack. That is the major reason. But it is not what others think. We have sufficient of grains. We just want to solve family problems. We are ready to farm, but the financial strength is our concern. We need loans to involve ourselves fully in farming activities. Moreover, we can't hold all we cultivated. We pay back the loan after selling our grains. There are many young farmers like me willing to farm and contribute to the nation's food security. We eat what is left and then back to the market to buy. Both stakeholders appeal to government to help more local farmers in the country as they contribute to food security of the country. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
The Police Council has confirmed the appointment of Kayode Egbetokun as the 22nd Substantive Inspector General of Police. This was disclosed by the Minister of Police Affairs, Senator Ibrahim Gaidam, after a meeting presided over by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the State House in Abuja. Council members believe strongly that the new Inspector General of Police has the capacity to carry out government reforms that will boost the fight against insecurity across Nigeria.
Based on our records and what we have practically seen in him, he has a very rich CV. He has attended several police and security courses, and he is eminently actually qualified to be confirmed as a policeman. During my short period of time of stay as a police Minister of Police Affairs, I have worked closely with him. I found him to be very qualified, very honest, very transparent, and very hardworking. So we supported Mr. President's proposal, and we said that he should be confirmed as substantive Inspector General of Police.
It was the decision of the council that confirming him now will give him the necessary, confidence to lead his men. And apart from the confirmation, we also talked, the president is also desirous of security sector reforms.
Staying in Abuja, the House of Representatives has passed through second reading President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2.17 trillion naira request through second reading, supplementary budget through second reading. President Tinubu had written to the House seeking the approval of the lawmakers for the supplementary appropriation bill of 2.17 trillion naira. In a letter read at plenary by the Speaker of the House, Abbas Tajuddin, the supplementary budget is aimed at addressing labor wage adjustments, security, and other matters. In addition to the supplementary budget, the President also sent the 2024-2026 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper to the House of Representatives for consideration. Speaking at the consideration of the supplementary budget, the Chairman House Committee on Appropriations, Abubakar Bichi, noted that the supplementary budget was a welcome idea by the President that will meet the needs and aspirations of Nigerians.
Because, we have serious challenge for the food security in the nations. And I think that one is also wonderful and is commendable to from the executives. And we're also looking to it. If there's a need to increase it, we can. If there's a need to leave it like that, we can leave it like that. But I think it's well presentable, and the President has done very well for this budget. The President has also introduced about 200 billion to close the gap of 35,000 increasement, which he has promised to the civil servants. And for works, is critical roads across 6 geopolitical zones, from north, west, south, and everywhere in this country, as well as the housing deficit. From what we have seen so far, the President wants to construct 42,000 housing across 6 geopolitical zones. So likely it's going to be more than 200,000 to 300,000 units.
The Ogun State government-owned So Safe Corps on Monday admitted to mistakenly killing Pastor Adeni Adisa in a shootout with the suspected kidnappers on July 1st, 2023. Gunmen had reportedly stormed a Redeemed Christian Church of God at Abule Ori in Obafemi Owode local government area of the state, where they had killed a pastor and abducted 7 worshippers. The commander of the Ogun State So Safe Corps, Soji Gonzalo, while confirming the development, says his officers later rescued 7 abducted church members and neutralized one of the kidnappers during the operation. Adisa, a pastor in charge of Latter Rain Revival Christian Church, or Laogun, Ibadan, Oyo State, was kidnapped back in June 24th while returning from a visit to a friend in Yotomi area, Owodegba, in Obafemi Owode local government area of Ogun State. Gonzalo cleared the air while addressing newsmen on the controversy at the Corps' head office in Abeokuta alongside the family members of the slain pastor. 2 female suspects have been arrested for allegedly selling hard drugs as beverages in Kwara State. The young suspects were paraded by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Kwara State Command, over sale and production of illegal and dangerous substances in both liquid and powdered forms hidden in sachets of Milo. The commander of the NDLEA in Kwara State, Muhammad Ibrahim, speaking to journalists during their parade at the command's headquarters in Ilorin, disclosed that suspects were arrested in Ilorin and Offa. He says they specialize in packaging hard substances in portable sachets of Milo and selling to unsuspecting members of the public. According to Ibrahim, they were arrested with 5,069,900 kilograms of cannabis sativa. He advised parents and members of the public to be wary of consuming drinks at parties. He says the command will continue its fight against drug abuse across the nooks and crannies of Kwara State for the good of the public. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up ahead, we tell you the story of a local aphrodisiac going out of production. More on this and many other stories coming up ahead in just a moment.
It was never a consensus. We did all our best. You see, in politics, you give your contribution to the best of your ability.
If you want, I'll forward to you this statement. You go to this bank and verify. But
there are people who say not spending money is not about you.
I'm coming. Let me finish.
But there's so much to be done.
Let me finish. Now, you don't allow me to explain myself.
The recent developments shows abductions are now a factor of informants embedded in community.
It's not about the people of Katsina to say that, no, during my administration I was able to stop insecurity. No, it's about collective responsibility for all of us.
And what we should ask ourselves is not what has been seen, is the life better? Are there more people who are unemployed who are not become employed? Is the level of corruption has gone down? Is there inclusion? All those issues.
We're actually a gas country with associated oil. Our focus has always been on oil, that we have never paid significant attention to gas.
To do it effectively, we need to have honest conversation with ourselves. Government needs to come down from its higher horse and communicate with the people and build trust.
There must be a solution. We cannot continue this way. They must come back to the table and agree. So whose child will do deny education? All these children that sit for jam, they want to go to higher institutions.
But just a short while ago you were saying that why bring 10 children when you cannot cater for them? So why bring more universities when you cannot cater for the existing?
Welcome back to the news. Thank you very much for staying with us. Here's a quick reminder of our top stories. Abuja residents lament the demolition of a palace. Police Council confirms Egbetokun as substantive Inspector General of Police. The House of Representatives has summoned the Humanitarian Affairs Minister, Betta Edu, to provide the House with details of the process and criteria used to select the 15 million households as beneficiaries of the 1.1 trillion naira conditional cash transfer by the Tinubu administration. This followed the adoption of a motion by Representative Moruf Adebayo on Tuesday. The lawmaker says the removal of fuel subsidy has necessitated various intervention programs and policies to alleviate economic hardship for families and small businesses. Representative Adebayo, however, expressed concerns about the transparency and effectiveness of previous palliative programs for vulnerable Nigerians. The lawmaker noted concerns about corruption and fraud in previous conditional cash transfer programs where funds intended for vulnerable people were misappropriated by individuals. The Tinubu administration recently launched the Renewed Hope Conditional Cash Transfer Scheme, to target 15 million households with 25,000 naira financial support for 3 months. Now, snort apple, commonly known as Goron Tula, is a sweet fruit cultivated in Gombe and is considered by many as an aphrodisiac. Now, this makes the fruit popular with both men and women who buy it for its taste and medicinal value. The fruit is fast becoming scarce due to environmental factors like deforestation, and traders are concerned it may go out of circulation. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail visited Tula to file in this report.
Despite its not too appealing look, Goron Tula is sweet and highly sought after by women due to its properties as an aphrodisiac. Tula is widely known as the town of this popular fruit, with a huge demand from different parts of the country. On the average, a measure of Goron Tula sells for 2,000 naira. For the past 2 years, Daniel Adamu has been a supplier of the fruit.
My major customers, most of them are females, and some of them are men. But the most of them are female. Just for their pleasure, take it for their own pleasure. And some people cannot explain what they're using it for. They just buy it and go.
The snort apple tree usually grows in the wild with little or no human support. Goron Tula has become part of the identity of this town. As such, the peculiarity of farming the fruit is a good opportunity for traders like Daniel to make profit.
Really, I've achieved a lot because I used to pay my house rent with it, with what I get from it. And I can't precisely say in a month this is what I get because it depends on the markets. Sometimes we have markets, sometimes we don't have customers. But it has been of good help to me because I used to pay my house rent, my children's school fees, and I take care of myself too and my family.
For Daniel, there is a concern over the decreasing number of trees that bear the fruit due to deforestation by locals. This trend, if left unchecked, may likely push traders like Daniel out of business.
The activities of some other people that are ignorant of it, they used to cut the trees without even minding that it's very important. And sometimes even the younger ones that are growing, they don't used to take care of them. They used to cut it down. So I'm afraid maybe sometimes this Goron Tula will not be longer in existence.
It is observed that there is scarcity of the product in the market due to low production. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria has refuted claims suggesting the Apex Bank plans to redenominate the Naira from next year. The rebuttal follows the wide circulation of a message suggesting that the CBN is set to redenominate the Naira. In a statement signed by the Director of Corporate Communications, Isa Abdul Mumini, the Bankers Bank expressed concern over the narrative which is gaining traction with public debate about its projected impact on the Nigerian economy. The CBN says there is currently no plan by the central bank to restructure or redenominate the Naira. Abdul Mumini urges members of the public to ignore the news report as it is speculative and calculated to cause panic in the polity. On the international scene, Gaza's interior minister says an Israeli air attack has hit an apartment block in a residential area of Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza, killing and wounding hundreds of people. Director of nearby Indonesian hospital says at least 50 people have been killed. Israeli troops pushed deeper into Gaza, with witnesses reporting heavy clashes after tanks reached a residential area in Gaza City. Bombardments reported across the besieged territory as Prime Minister Netanyahu rejected calls for a ceasefire. At least 8,525 Palestinians have so far been killed in Gaza in Israeli attacks since October 7. More than 1,400 have been killed in Israel. Jabalia is the largest of the Gaza Strip's 8 refugee camps. The camp houses 3 UN-run schools, which have been converted into shelters for hundreds of people displaced by the crisis. Well, that's it on the news update at this hour. We'll be back with more news later at 9 o'clock. But for now, follow us across our social media platforms to catch up with more of our content. And you can take a look at our website, trusttv.com, for the latest news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.